Okay, Yuriko, nice to see you again.
Yeah.
And today we're going to get started with our third episode.
Okay.
And we've already noticed that we have some audience
Yes.
out there. What countries did we see?
America, United Kingdom, and Japan.
All right, so 3 different places, so that's really exciting.
Yes.
We want to say thank you to our listeners, and we hope you're enjoying Yuriko's great stories about being a student, a medical college student in Japan. And today we'd like to continue our conversation from last week's episode.
Yes.
We mentioned about Yuriko's dream to be a medical student and the school system in Japan. And today Yuriko is going to talk about...
how do I study for the entrance exam?
Okay, so we're going to talk, about the entrance exam and getting into medical
Yes.
college. Yeah. So first, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
When you were thinking about medical school, did you know which school you wanted to enter? Was it only one school, or did you apply to many schools?
I applied to many schools because if I fail one medical school, I have to go to another school. So I took an entrance examination of some private medical school and another public medical school.
I see. But you had a first choice, right?
Yes.
What was your first choice?
The first choice is this NMU.
Nara Medical University. So that's great. You were accepted to your first choice. That's fantastic.
Yes.
The other schools that you applied to, were these in the same area as Nara Medical University, or were they spread out around Japan?
Around Japan, but it is near from here.
Near from there?
It takes about 1 or 2 hours to go there by train.
Okay, so you tried to stay somewhat near this area, so
yes.
like Osaka, Kyoto, Nara
Yes.
area. Okay, great. Okay, so then you decided several schools and you took the test. Now I'd like to know a little bit, how do you prepare to get into medical school? So for example, is there a test that you need to take to enter the university?
Yes, if students want to go to public medical school, we have to take a center test.
Center test. What is center test? Now, I have an idea, but maybe some of the listeners aren't sure what that means.
It is an academic test, but it is mark test. We have to select and mark one correct answer from multiple choices.
I see. So a written exam.
Yes.
And multiple subjects related to medical college?
Yes.
Like, for example, what subjects do you have to prepare for?
We have to take 7 subjects, include Japanese, mathematics, science, sociology, and English. And science includes biology, chemistry, physics.
I see. Okay, so a general test that covers many subjects. If I had to imagine, maybe something like the SAT exam in America, we also have, based on how you described it. So you have the center test, and when do you take the center test? So let's say you're a senior in high school, maybe a third year student in high school. What time of year do you need to take the test? Is there a certain month? Or so, for example, in America, if you take the SAT test, you can take almost any time in the year. There's several opportunities. How about the center test?
Center test takes 2 days.
2 days, okay.
But we have to prepare to get high scores, especially for students who want to go to medical school. I
see. So how do you prepare for such a test?
I prepared many times, 1 year or so.
So did you mostly study on your own, or do you have a study group, or I know we talked a little bit about cram schools as far as getting into high school. Did you go to a cram school?
I went to a cram school, but I studied for center test by myself because the repetition to solve again and again is very important.
I see.
So I just solving.
I see. Wow. Yeah. Well, I know you're a good student, so maybe that's why. All right. So then you had the center test, and then what's the next step? So after you complete the center test, you get your results, and then what do you do?
Then students mark their own paper and submit their score to a certain system and compare their scores with another students without knowing personal information.
I see. So maybe on the internet they can go to some web page and it'll show all of the scores?
Yes.
So you can take your score and try to see where you rank in the system? Okay. And so once you do that, then what's next?
I recognize that I was in relatively upper level among students who want to take an entrance exam of NMU. So
I see. So how do you know that? In the website, does it tell you about the different universities' levels?
No, we can select university and we can see the scores students took.
I see. Okay, so for example, if you want to know about Nara Medical University, you can search NMU and you'll see the average scores and then you can check your results against that.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's great. And so when you did that, you noticed you could fit in that category at the higher part. That's great. Okay, so now you've done the center test, and I know you said you applied to several schools, but NMU was your first choice, and you knew you fit the level they were looking for. What's after that? Is there another exam you have to take?
Yes, the second is writing test.
Okay.
And after the writing test, we have to take an interview or a writing essay.
Oh, okay. All right. So the center test is usually in January, is that correct? February?
On January.
And the school year starts in April in Japan. So for some countries that might be different. For example, America, I think, is September or August. And so you took the center test in January, and then you need to take another test specifically for this university.
Yes.
And when is that test?
On February, so we can prepare for 1 month.
1 month. So as soon as you finish the center test, it's time to study again.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of stress.
Yes.
Okay. And in that case, would you go to a cram school?
Of course.
Okay. And then what would they do at that cram school?
I studied for second writing test, but I also practiced interviews and essays because I didn't know how to write a good essay.
I see. And then you had to write essays for this school?
This school doesn't have essay, but another medical school have essay for tests.
I see. Okay. And they can also help you prepare for your interview.
Yeah.
So how to maybe smile or how to behave or that type of thing? Okay, so then you had that. And after you complete that entrance exam, so the one specific for our university, how long before you hear the results? Did you have to wait a long time, or is it really quick?
I thought it was 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay, so during those 2 weeks...
I was a little nervous.
A little nervous, right? A little nervous. And how do you finally get the results?
These days we can see on the web, so it is very convenient for students. But before that, we have to go to college and look for the number.
I see. Okay, so now in this case, when you entered, you just went online to the web page, and it said, "Congratulations, you're accepted."
Yeah.
And then you got to post. You were happy. Well, that's fantastic. All right. Maybe we should stop here for this week's podcast. So now we've heard about your childhood dream, and then we talked about the school system, and now we heard about how you got accepted to Nara Medical University, and that's great. Congratulations. So it's great to have you here. From the next episodes, we'll maybe talk about various topics related to your college life.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay, so thanks a lot, and we hope our listeners enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot.